Oh man, come on in, come on in. What's up? What's good? What's popping? What's cracking? What's percolating? What is really good in the hood? It is your man Theo B. I ain't saying, I'm just saying with the rock with me. They say, oh man, y'all cut that thing up. Oh man, y'all cut that thing up. Oh man, yeah. Oh man. Before we begin, like, share, subscribe. If you like, leave a comment. If you don't like, leave a constructive comment. This video, it is a Recasttchalla. It is an honor of Chadwick Boseman. With a little levity. Yeah, with a little levity injected in it. So yeah, y'all come on in. Let's get this thing started. Y'all see the title? Yes. This is the Theo B interview with Marvel Studios. This video is inspired by a conversation that I had with my man Gabbo from Machiavelli Media. Y'all make sure y'all check him out for the latest in Tupac information. Yeah. So y'all go along with me. I'm gonna play the role of the reporter, the interview, and I'm interviewing Nate Moore, Kevin Feige, and Ryan Coogler because I ain't heard the questions asked that I wanted to hear asked. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. So Mr. Feige, Kevin, we noticed, Investors Day last year, December 10th, you came to the podium. Oh, there was no podium. You actually walked out in your baseball cap, your sports coat, and your blue jeans like you normally do. And you stated that Chadwick Boseman's performance was iconic. And out of respect, you would not recast the character. Is that correct? Were you aware of Derek Boseman's statement on Urban Faith on December 8th? Okay, I see. Well, when you say out of respect, was that based on a conversation between you and Nate Moore? Did he say something to lead you to believe that this was the best way to go? Or did you confer with him yourself? Like you asked him into your office, or did he come to you? Okay. There's an interview, an article that states you said when you were first told of this that you wanted to recast the character right away, but that cast and crew told you they wanted to go in a different direction. Now, when you say cast and crew, because based on Nate Moore's statement from 3 weeks ago, he said it was just a conversation between he and Ryan Coogler. So when you say cast and crew, was this something you were led to believe by a conversation with you and Nate Moore, or was this a conversation that you had with more than Nate Moore? I see. So, a few more questions here, and then we're going to move on to the other two gentlemen. Was it your decision to push the narrative amongst movie reviewers that a decision had been reached and that it wasn't discussable? I know that's not a word, but can we say that? The topic was off the table, per se. And that the only decision to be made at that point was whether or not the character would be killed on or off screen. Was that something you pushed? Was that something Bob Popchick pushed? Or where did this direction, this narrative come from? Was this you or Nate Moore? Because we understand he's a senior official as well. What was this something that you pushed? I see. Well, in understanding that the you have people that review your movies. Now, just for our audience, how do these people get to review your movies, your TV shows, Disney Plus shows before anybody else does? Those of us that don't know, fans at home that don't know, how do movie reviewers, whether they are YouTube reviewers or whether they are cable movie reviewers, how do they get to review Marvel movies before anyone else does? Can you give us the step-by-step process to that, please? No, I only asked because I noticed that there were quite a few, I'm not going to say you, but I noticed quite a few movie reviewers regurgitating that narrative about out of respect. Were you aware of this? Did you have some hand in this? Like, I would just like to know. Okay. One more thing before I go, Kevin, and if you may, is it okay if I come back to you later on? Okay. One more thing before I go. In light of the TMZ release of Derek Bozeman's statement, we noticed that a few days later you came out and you made mention of SpiderMan 3, the issues, the problems with Sony in regards to there being more Spider-Man in the MCU, and how you stated you didn't want the MCU fans, specifically the Spider-Man fans, going through any type of separation anxiety. Would you like to elaborate on that at all? Well, no, the only reason why I asked is because you wanted to make sure that the Spider-Man fans, Tom Holland fans, Peter Parker fans, MCU fans, Sony fans, Marvel Studios fans, did not have to worry about there not being a Tom Holland, Peter Parker, Spider-Man in the MCU. You haven't even addressed the fans of T'Challa. Okay, I'm gonna come back to you. Okay, we don't have too much longer for this interview. Nate Moore, Ryan Coogler, I'd like to ask, y'all, either one of you two, feel free to step in and take one of these questions. When you found out Chadwick Boseman had passed away, because Nate, you alluded in your interview that you and Ryan, a matter of minutes and everything like that. Can you tell us specifically how many minutes was that? Because minutes, you didn't say an hour. An hour is 60 minutes. You said minutes. So I'm thinking anything 59 minutes less than. How many minutes exactly was it that you and Ryan took to come to this conclusion? Okay, excuse me. Kevin, now remember when you said that you had stated earlier you wanted to recast? Ryan, to you, you stated that Nate Moore, and I really don't want to put you two guys on the spot here, but I just think the fans and the family of Chadwick Boseman deserve some clarity on this. Ryan, you stated that Nate told you initially a few years ago, while y'all were filming, a few months before you started filming, not to be married to the character of T'Challa as Black Panther because many more had worn the mantle. Is that correct, Ryan? Is that correct? Okay. Nate, with you and Ryan and Kevin Feige being comic book fans and everything like that, can you, Nate specifically, Ryan, I'm sorry, Ryan, Kevin, this is for Nate. Nate, can you tell me specifically how the mantle of the Black Panther gets passed? Okay. Ryan, being a critically acclaimed writer that you are, and listen, the work that you did on Fruitvale Station with Michael B. Jordan was definitely something to be commendable. I actually like Creed. I saw Creed 2. Me and my daughter both like it. Done some great, wonderful work. In regards to Black Panther, T'Chaka's brother's name is Sion. Can you tell us why you felt the need to move from Sion to Njobu? Okay. All right. Nate, you were over Captain America's Civil War, and I think this question is really important. Now, if we go all the way back to the very first movie in the MCU, that being Iron Man, we kept the origin story pretty much intact. And even though in the Incredible Hulk movie starring Edward Norton, we didn't do an origin story per se, but we did give an origin story in the credits, the opening credits of the movie. Of course, with Captain Marvel, a loose origin story, still kind of like kept it her origin story intact. Same thing with Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Now, those that don't know, the Sam Wilson version that's in the MCU is based on Sam Wilson in the Ultimate Marvel Comics line. It's not based on the Sam Wilson in the 616 universe, i.e., the Hawkeye Clint Barton is based on the Marvel Ultimate version and not the 616 version. That being said, when we speak of the character T'Challa, um, Minutes, did you ever reach out to the family? Minutes. During the minute time frame in which you, Ryan, and you, Nate, had conversation, did y'all reach out to the family? Okay, Nate, I'm coming back to this question here because comic book fans, the mantle of Black Panther, how exactly is that passed? Who, how did this come into play? Let's do this because some fans don't know and they trust you and Ryan. Who was the very first Black Panther? And how did he come into his powers? And yes, I'm prepared for you to say the wrong thing. But I mean, hey, I think everybody needs to know because that's important. And Ryan, understanding that, you know, you and Michael B. Jordan do have a close relationship. Can you tell us why the fans at home, you chose to make a so many sales. Why you chose to make Eric Killmonger T'Challa's cousin? Can you tell us that? Why you chose to create the uncle in Jobu? That story, because Sion, Eric Killmonger is not his son, and Eric and T'Challa aren't related. And that's the story that you chose to tell. Can you tell the fans at home, Ryan, why you deliberately chose to tell that story when that story is not in the comics? Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank y'all so much for taking time because you definitely didn't have to do this. I want to thank the fans at home and everything for like that for sitting in on this particular interview. We have a lot of questions. We got a lot of questions that we were able to ask these three individuals tonight. And I just want to thank them so much for blessing us with their time. They definitely didn't have to do that. But as you see, we do have questions. And as I said to my man Gabbo today, you ain't got to have the answers. You just need to know the answers that they gave previously, they don't make sense. 2 plus 2 is supposed to always add up to be 4, right? Well, if this was out of respect, you don't get respect in a matter of minutes. And if Derek said it was good and no family member has said anything else, but we kind of already know that because Chadwick kind of said it in his interviews. Ocean's 11. Chadwick wanted a movie where we had Ocean's 11, but the color of the cast was reversed. That's someone who doesn't mind sharing the stage. As a matter of fact, contrary to Anthony Mackie's mindset, that's actually someone who wants to share the spotlight. Let me say that one more time, because we don't seem to understand and appreciate that enough for Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman was a brother who wanted to share the spotlight with his other brothers and sisters because he knew if that spotlight shined on just him, it was going to be some brothers and sisters left out in the cold. But if that spotlight shined on all of us, oh, good God Almighty Jesus. It's kind of crazy because some of us keep Chadwick Boseman name in our mouth and we ain't doing what he would have did. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Peace. Listen, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me and everything like that. This was me injecting a little bit of levity. Hey, Chad, we miss you, brother. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Peace.